All right, so oh, thanks for the sub, Electrica. So there's a very controversial new trailer out. 21 million views from Disney. It's The Little Mermaid official teaser trailer. This came out while I was at TIFF. Um, oh, the most replayed part is at the very beginning, which is kind of interesting, actually. I wasn't expecting that. But they're not gonna do I already know, like, Ariel's black. Okay. It's not gonna be like a reveal like at the end of the Pinocchio trailer, and it doesn't really matter. So let's check this out. Let's see what's going on here. Disney 100. Oh wait, do we get 4K here? We're all the way at Disney 100 and we still only have 1080p. Oh my god. Why is okay. All right. Oh, maybe this will be a reveal. Maybe I'm wrong. They're being like really subtle about it now. Okay, so I think that The Little Mermaid and Aladdin and The Lion King, like Disney Renaissance shit, even Mulan and fucking Pinocchio Hauntus, they have some great music, and so like just having that like like reincorporating the melody, as Jon Favreau would say, there's something about music that taps into memory emotion and makes it so that you don't actually have to make a good movie and people will just eat it up. Because I love the music, but the new film is gonna shit on the music anyway. So like whatever. It makes me want to rewatch the old film, which I probably will. And that's the thing about these remakes is like it also encourages the sale of the original because nostalgic people will be like, I'm gonna watch the original. Some people will watch both. So it's like a big ad for like an older property that they get to. Oh, 4 brand new songs, great, awesome. Oh. It looks like shit. Who gives a fuck? It's funny. It's funny that this looks kind of like an old Robert Zemeckis film, and Robert Zemeckis is making the. I mean, he made the Pinocchio movie that I still have. I'll watch next week. And that looks like shit. And this looks like old Zemeckis, and current Zemeckis looks like something much worse. I don't know. Oh, someone's blowing up the underwater Pentagon. Look at how everything's so pixelated. Like, seriously, Disney? Look, you can't make out anything. Why would you upload like this? This isn't even 1080p. There's no way that this is like actually genuinely 1080p. This isn't even just like YouTube compressed. This is like whoever exported the trailer on Disney's end, like, oh my god, what are you doing? Is that Flounder? Yeah, probably. Yeah, all right. So we have underwater Pentagon blowing up.
Out of the sea.
Oh, we've got the title. I was so distracted by how much I don't like the voice that we have the title already, and I didn't even notice. It's a weird place to put it.
Wish I could
Oh, fuck! They're doing the thing! They're doing the thing that I pointed out in my Lion King review, where it's like you're doing that weird showy national anthem style bullshit.
let a flag wash
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. Like, oh my god, it's just so disgusting. Just fucking sing the song. Don't fuck. Just... If this is for a new generation, then you should be singing it like people don't already know what the melody is supposed to be. Instead of doing this weird, like, oh, I'm gonna dance everywhere around where the melody is. Oh, I hate it. Wish I could be here.
Part of that world.
I don't like the way she enunciated that either. Wow, this trailer's so short. I'm feeling zero emotions for this.
Part of that world.
It doesn't even sound like she's gonna say the word world. Sounds like she's gonna say part of that white?
Part of that world.
Why? Just why? Though she's making such a dumb face here too. Oh my god, this is so weird. Why? Yeah, wow. It's so derpy. Look at her face. Something weird. Looks like she's chewing gum. Looks like she's got chew tobacco. She's about to spit to the spittoon underwater. Wild. Look at that stupid face. I can't believe it. Okay, that was barely anything. The controversy is kind of amusing. Yeah, like, who gives a shit? The controversy should be that the movie looks bad, which, I mean, yeah, other people are saying also, but it kind of gets drowned out, whether legitimately or illegitimately, whether by people. Oh yeah, you know, because when things like this happen, there's cringe people and like racists and whatever being very cringe. And then there's also people like reporting on it, right? And you always have to wonder, it's like, okay, well, how much of this is just reporting and how much of this is like legitimate? And so part of me is like, okay, well, how many people are really being like, yo, why is she black? But then I remember like there's people like, didn't like Matt Walsh do like a thing on being like, here's why it's impossible that a mermaid would be black. I'll have to watch that though, because that seems like really funny. Let's watch that now. Let's make that part of the reaction. Matt Walsh, Mermaid. Because like I've been aware that other people are commenting on it, but I didn't even watch the people commenting on it because I just kind of wanted to react by myself. All right, so this is a fucking like what? 11-minute video?
August,
like, what are we going to do here?
It was announced that the actor James Franco had been cast to play Fidel Castro in an upcoming film. As Axios reported at the time, the casting decision sparked anger. Many on the left of Latino exclusion in Hollywood. Fellow actor John Leguizamo blasted the casting as appropriation, called for a boycott. They're from Latinos. It also didn't matter that Franco. All that
you know what? At least I'm consistent in that like I've never given a shit. Like a lot of these arguments just come from like imagined or expressed hypocrisy. So you recast a white character as black, then conservatives have ammo to say, like, well, how come you didn't care, or how come we don't get to care about this, but you get to care when Scarlett Johansson was cast as what should have been an Asian character or something. So they get to be like, well, you're just doing it because it's white person there and a black person there. And so there's this whole like really annoying just constant, everybody's just feeding each other ammo, and it's really annoying. But I get to look at this and be like, well, at least I'm consistent because I've never really given a shit. I'm not one of the people who complained about ScarJo in Ghost in the Shell, a movie I didn't watch. And what's also really funny about this, what's also fucking hilarious about The Little Mermaid being a part of this controversy now, is like nobody was like excited for this Disney remake anyway. Like nobody gave a shit. Like, oh no, Little Mermaid is black. I totally really wanted to see the Disney remake of The Little Mermaid. I really wanted to see that. I would have been hyped if Little Mermaid wasn't black. Like, nobody. It's just for movies that nobody's gonna watch anyway. Like, people are just gonna hate watch it, and then a bunch of stupid babies are gonna watch it for reals. You know, like, why? It's weird to suggest that like you were going to watch it.
Is that Franco is white and woman in romantic comedy provoked that the fictional character is supposed to be Native American on the basis that he should be voicing the character Aladdin in 2019 came under fire because the brown actress who played Jasmine was not brown enough. And she wasn't white, but she appeared to be kind of white adjacent, and that was very disturbing. A Screen Rant article rolls, and the very same leftist. Now everything is mostly the same in the remake as always. It's like shot for shot exactly the same, except that the Little Mermaid herself, a pale redhead in the cartoon version, has been recast as a black woman.
How do you know it's shot for shot when you haven't seen it? There's like 4 new songs. How are you saying that? It's not out yet.
Though still with red hair somehow. This is part of a growing trend. As the anger about whitewashing increases, so in equal proportion does the demand for what we must in reverse call blackwashing. A viral post on Twitter declares rapturously, a black Cinderella, a black Belle on Broadway, a black Cinderella on Broadway, and now a black Ariel. The black girls are truly winning. Much to the left's approval, the black girls are winning, quote unquote, in historical retellings too. Last year, a black woman was cast.
It's like these are movies that like aren't even good. Like, who cares?
Anne Boleyn, 16th century Queen of England, in an upcoming miniseries. Netflix currently features a show starring a black woman as a Viking warrior. Many other examples come to mind, too many to count. They even fired Jake from State Farm and replaced him with a black version. And then there are the examples yet to be. For instance, there's still a major push to find somebody other than a white man to fill James Bond's shoes in the next installment. Now, in all of these cases, 2 things are guaranteed. Or actually more than 2, a few things. When a black actor plays a traditionally white role, portraying either a fictional character or a historical figure, the media, the left, and Hollywood itself will celebrate the move as pioneering and courageous and important along with all the other requisite superlatives. The other guarantee is that any criticism of the casting decision, even and especially criticism that simply adopts the same logic as the left applies to so-called whitewashing, will be slammed as racist. The Daily Beast today has an article.
It is like, yeah, it does give them ammo. It does give them ammo because there are a lot of people who are like, oh, I don't care when it's one direction, and they do care when it's the other. Like, I get it. I understand. Like, James Bond, like, oh yeah, we'll be white the entire time, and then it's like, okay, well then they're black once. Who gives a shit, you know? But I don't know.
Documenting what it calls the racist backlash to the Black Little Mermaid, declaring this backlash to be out of control. The racism is out of control, they say. Then you click on the article, and in the article they provide a few tweets from random accounts complaining that the underwater scenes don't look realistic. So the Daily Beast article about racist backlash contains no racist backlash, or even backlash that vaguely mentions race. They simply determined that the criticism of the film's bad CGI is really racially motivated. It's a dog whistle, as they like to say. That's the third guarantee, that when a film casts a black actor in a white role, any criticism of the film, any criticism, even criticism that makes no mention of race, is racist. Which is why you can't criticize the new Lord of the Rings series or the Game of Thrones prequel without revealing yourself to be a member of the KKK. In such situations, the left also likes to employ its favorite...
I don't know. I feel like I've done a pretty good job at criticizing these things without, like, you know, I think people understand when I criticize like the new Lion King and all the casting decisions. I'm not like, but they're, you know, I don't really get those criticisms. So I disagree with the idea that you can't criticize anything about these movies without being called racist, because I manage to do it all the time. I've been called racist for some other things, I guess, but not really legitimate. But
sleight of hand trick that we talk about all the time on this show. This is something that they will surely use in response to this very monologue you're listening to right now when Media Matters clips it and posts it to Twitter with a caption like, Daily Wire host launches into racist tirade about Black Little Mermaid. Guaranteed they're going to do that.
So,
and when they do, the left is going to respond to it by scoffing and saying, well, why do you care so much? It's just a movie about a mermaid. It's just a miniseries about the Queen of England. It's just a show about a Viking. It's just entertainment. Why are you even talking about this? Aren't there more important issues? But of course, they themselves have made exceedingly clear that racial accuracy in entertainment, whether fictional or historical, is extremely important to them. They've been saying this for years. That's why they go into spasms of rage whenever a character is judged not black or brown enough. It's why they would literally riot and start killing people.
But I don't like the argument that it's like, I'm justifying what I'm doing because people on the other side are also doing this bad thing that I'm saying that I'm against. And so then you're left at the end of it with like, oh, I guess everybody's just doing this thing that I don't like, but I'm justifying it because you're doing it. It's like, fuck, just... If it's a principle that you hold to be true, then you should live by that principle.
If somebody rebooted Tyler Perry's Medea series, except with...
It shouldn't matter what someone on the other side's doing. You should, if it's a principle that you hold, you should be living that way.
Bob Odenkirk dressed in drag for the title role. A similar reaction would be expected if the live-action remake of The Princess and the Frog featured like Kristen Stewart as Tatiana. And of course, a biopic about, say, Frederick Douglass with Tom Hanks as the lead would result in entire cities burning down in flames. All of these things would be called, as less egregious examples have been called, black erasure. So does that not mean, by their own categorization, that the reverse is white erasure. And if they can complain about black erasure, then why can't we complain about white erasure? Any kind of erasure on racial grounds sounds bad to me.
Yeah, I understand how that makes sense. I understand, like, yeah, there's some people who are literally just like, well, it's okay when my side does it. Yeah, and this gives ammo to conservatives, and it's frustrating.
Well, no, they say. It's different in the reverse. It's just different. It always is, right? And that's why all this matters. Now, on its own, in a vacuum, the race of an actor portraying a fictional character or even a historical character doesn't matter. Makes no difference, right? That's exactly the point that many of us have insisted on for years when the left started making this an issue. For years, we said it's not an issue, who cares? And there was a time when that was the case. It wasn't an issue. Nobody really cared about it. Morgan Freeman's character in Shawshank Redemption is actually supposed to be an Irish guy with red hair. That's why the character is named Red. But nobody complained because Freeman was brilliant in the role. He single-handedly made that film the classic that it is. And also, back in the early 90s, people weren't obsessing as much about the racial dynamics in Hollywood films. There was nothing pointed or political about giving the role to Freeman. Contrary to now, when the diversification, quote-unquote, of a story is always very clearly pointed and political. Back then, he was just the best man for the job. Everyone loves his character now, and that's all that needs to be said. Many of us have clung to
Freeman in which movie? I didn't
in
even.
a vacuum makes sense. But we're not in a vacuum. Unfortunately, we live now in a culture governed by blatant racial double standards. The rightness or wrongness of an act, the seriousness or unseriousness of an issue, the legitimacy or illegitimacy of a complaint, even the mutability or immutability of a cartoon character's race are all judged on racial grounds. Based on skin color, we are told what our opinions are allowed to be and what sorts of things we are allowed to care about. And if you're white, then there's going to be a whole list of things that every other group of people can care about, but which you would be insane, stupid, petty, and racist to care about yourself. Entire lists of priorities which, due to your skin pigmentation, are off limits for you. You are not allowed to care about it, they say. We're supposed to just accept a rule which says, having a white actor play Black Panther is horribly racist, but it's also horribly racist to complain about a black actor playing The Little Mermaid. But that rule is indefensible.
There are times.
I would say there's a lot more to the Black Panther being black than there is about Ariel being white.
Literally everything else I say because they're obsessed with pick it up like the site Alternet, which filmed The Little Mermaid, because the main character Ariel is portrayed by actress Halle Bailey, who is black. Matt said that while he is sympathetic to more racial inclusion in fictional works, he opposes Bailey's casting because of marine biology. Quoting me now, quote, also, by the way, with The Little Mermaid, can we also just mention that from a scientific perspective, it doesn't make a lot of sense to have someone with darker skin who lives deep in the ocean.
Okay, here we go. This is what I was curious about. Because I heard, yeah, you're trying to apply like some sort of scientific standard to why a fictional creature shouldn't be black. And I just find that interesting. So this is what I'm here for. All right.
Racial inclusion in fictional works. He opposes Bailey's casting because of marine biology. Quoting me now.
This is like saying that like scalies shouldn't have tits. Like, could you imagine? He's like up there like, actually, reptilians don't produce milk. Like, he starts talking about Skyrim, like, the Argonian maid is a lie.
Quote, also, by the way, with The Little Mermaid, can we also just mention that from a scientific perspective, it doesn't make a lot of sense to have someone with darker skin who lives deep in the ocean, Walsh complained. I mean, if anything, not only should The Little Mermaid be pale, she should actually be translucent, he continued. If you look at deep sea creatures, they're like translucent. They have no pigmentation whatsoever, and they're just these horrifying, they look like skeletons floating around in the ocean. That's what The Little Mermaid.
Has she not, like, weren't there parts of them, like, she explores around, she's not, like, only at the most bottom part of the ocean. Like, what do you realize that, like, there's a lot of killer whales are very much black. Right? They got white spots, too. Dolphins are, like, fairly dark-looking. Like, you can live in the ocean and not only be at the deepest part of the ocean and never, like, what the hell?
It should look like she should be totally pale and skeletal, where you can see her skull through her face. Walsh noted, adding that...
So why is he talking about himself in the third person? I don't understand why he's saying this in this way.
This would be a version of The Little Mermaid that I would watch. Now, that is indeed an accurate and full quote, which I do appreciate. Media Matters on Twitter provided the full video, but they were more selective in their
This is him talking about... Okay, so he's defending a previous take. Okay.
So Jason Campbell tweeted the video, but the caption was just, Daily Wire host says it's unscientific to cast a black person as a mermaid. Now, which again is what I said, but then didn't go further with the rest of it. From there, it was sort of off to the races. My statements calling for a translucent mermaid were picked up by other media outlets like Newsweek. They had a headline about it. It even went all the way across the world. The Sydney Morning Herald in Australia was reporting on it. Reporters started emailing me asking for comment on the issue, which I was more than happy to provide, by the way. Leftists across the nation expressed their outrage. I was one of the top trending topics on Twitter all night and still today because of this. My allegedly racist, translucent supremacist views ignited a national firestorm. Now, just reading through a few of these angry tweets, just for fun. One says, wait. First, these fools want to say that science doesn't matter when it comes to vaccines and the like, but then want to be science guardians about fictional creatures. Josh Marshall at the Talking Points memo tweeted, I shouldn't laugh because the racism isn't funny, but they struggle to present their racism as scientific. Have you ever even met a fish? He actually wrote that. Have you met any fish? They don't look like people. With a few exceptions, they're not white. What an effing clown. Another tweet says, quite possibly the strangest thing about self-described theocratic fascist Matt Walsh's argument for why scientifically a mermaid couldn't be black is the fact that it's just wrong. He's confusing tanning changing someone's skin tone to the amount of melanin in someone's skin. Another one says, attention, Matt Walsh, F your scientific perspective. Mermaids aren't real. Just say you're racist and take up significantly less airtime. Bye. And there's this. There are a lot of extraordinarily dumb, pathetic racists in the world, but Matt Walsh puts them all to shame with pearl clutching.
There is an argument to make that no one should be on Twitter also. There is an argument to make that, like, Twitter should be banned.
Cakes like this. Another from a woman named Victoria Brownworth, who bills herself as an award-winning journalist, says, quote, wait, Matt Walsh says there's science behind his racist take on the Little Mermaid casting? Is someone going to break it to him that mermaids are mythical creatures and Disney makes animated features for kids? Now, there are many thousands more where those came from. Ted Lieu got in on the dog pile. So did CNN correspondent John Harwood. Many others, conservative masochist and gimp David French joined in. The outrage reached into unexpected corners. The media liaison for the Portland Police Department, for some reason, sent me hate mail about this, calling me garbage for my comments about a translucent mermaid. This guy's name, by the way, is and I'll put his message up on the screen. Incidentally, in the message I'm putting up on the screen, you can see his email address there, which is a shame. I wish we could block that out or something, but I forgot to, and now it's out there. You can all see it. Please don't email him, though. I'm not asking you to do that. Anyway, he was hired by the Portland...
Wait, what? You're not allowed to... You can change that in post in YouTube also. It's bullshit. That's bullshit, dude. Oh, oops, we can't remove his email address. Don't email him. Like, that's crypto bullshit. You're such an asshole, really? Like, we can edit it out for our video, Sal. We can just edit it. It's so easy. Like, even in you can do it on YouTube. Like, after you've uploaded it.
I'm not asking you to do that. Anyway, he was hired by the Portland, Maine Police Department during the defund the police hysteria as one of the 3 civilian liaisons. And his job, which he has paid a salary
I'm totally not asking you to email him, everybody.
Taxpayers for, is to facilitate community and media relations. And this is his media outreach strategy, evidently. A very interesting approach, to say the least. He actually sent me that bit of hate mail, called me garbage, and then blocked me so I couldn't respond. This is media outreach, okay? This is what the Portland Police Department in Maine needs. All told, the left was very upset about my push for greater translucent representation in mermaid casting. And let me just say, to begin with, that I'm glad the left has chosen to take my comments seriously. I was, of course, being totally serious when I made them. I am not one to joke. I would never engage in something as juvenile as sarcasm. When I say something, as my audience knows, it means that I'm 100% sincere all the time. And I especially would never joke about an issue as...
But you just... So when we can't remove the email. No, I am asking for none of you to email him. There's no way we can do that. Wink, wink. And then a minute later, I am sincere in everything that I say, and I am never sarcastic. I am not cryptic. I am 100% sincere that I believe that there is no way to edit that in post.
As serious as translucent representation in Hollywood. So the 3 points I want to make here. First of all, I have long been an advocate for the translucent population, a fighter for trans rights, you might say. Boo! Translucent individuals have been marginalized for far too long, and now even film roles that rightfully belong to them have been appropriated. I ask you...
He's never... Isn't that his whole, like... Yeah. Okay. I feel like I'm being trolled here. Because there's no way he sincerely says... I don't know what I'm even watching anymore. Like, does he actually hold this position? I think he might be gaslighting.
When was the last time you saw a skeletal, translucent, goblin-like monstrosity cast in any movie? Now, granted, we have one as a Speaker of the House right now, but that is hardly enough. If they will not earn roles in films about deep-sea creatures who sing, then what hope do they have? Translucent people exist, and they deserve to be affirmed. Translucent rights are human rights. Translucent lives matter. Second, many on the left have sent me messages or left comments insisting that my mermaid racial theories are factually incorrect. They have presented many arguments seeking to debunk my thesis. A journalist named, there are a lot of journalists, by the way, who are chiming in on this, and there's a journalist named Catherine Marshall. She sent a whole string of tweets fact-checking my alleged misinformation and insisting that mermaids are more like seals who breathe air at the surface. That's what she said. And as she reminded me indignantly, seals are black. This argument fails because mermaids live on the ocean floor. And as you may recall in the original film, Ariel's trips to the surface are a source of great controversy in the mermaid community. They don't want her to go there at all. This means that mermaids do not need to surface.
I mean, there's a difference between surface and not the bottom of the ocean. There's a difference. You can still get light not directly at the surface. In fact, I'm pretty sure the entire Mermaid film had lighting, and it wasn't pitch black. I'm pretty sure the original Mermaid film wasn't just black screen the entire time. I'm pretty sure the original Mermaid film wasn't night vision.
In order to breathe air, as seals do. No, living on the ocean floor with flounders and evil octopuses clearly qualifies her as a deep-sea creature. She certainly lives deep enough where there wouldn't be nearly enough light penetration to necessitate high concentrations of melanin in the skin. Indeed, the lack of light penetration would create, as I argued, a translucent appearance. This would be both an evolutionary adaptation allowing for greater camouflage from predators, and a logical result of a lack of sunlight. So, do your mermaid research before you try to engage with me on this subject. You need to bring mermaid facts and mermaid logic to this conversation. By the way, I demand this level of accuracy out of every Disney film. It's one of the reasons I've always objected to Beauty and the Beast. For one thing, the story promotes bestiality, as Beauty begins to fall in love with what is essentially a large talking buffalo. For another, the servants, who turned into household objects and pieces of furniture, would in reality be so psychologically devastated by
If you don't think that having a human brain matters, then you've lost the plot.
transformation, they'd be in no mood to perform song and dance numbers for the Beast's female prisoners. Not to mention they wouldn't have vocal cords or a musculoskeletal system that could facilitate that sort of physical movement. Third and final point. I am the beloved and revered LGBT author of Johnny the Walrus. I literally wrote a book about marine animals. Johnny the Walrus is not just a masterpiece of children's literature.
Oh, yeah.
Also, the seminal scientific treatise on the subject of aquatic mammals. So those who are questioning my statements are therefore not only engaging in homophobia and gay erasure, but also are refusing to listen to and trust the experts. This is dangerous and toxic behavior, not to mention an example of stochastic terrorism. As an expert in the field.
Okay, this guy is just not serious. This guy, I regret having watched any of his videos. I think I'm just gonna stick to like other people taking taking like shots at him here and there, because like holy shit, he's not sincere in like anything. He's like, it's such a there's no like purpose to the discourse that he's providing at all. Like, he's not serious about anything.
Hey everyone, it's September 2022, so it's time for some new Patreon credits. Special thanks go to EasyGame69, Sam McKenney, Nico Fuentes, Ryan, Joel999, Melly, Wriggle Moss, Speak of the Joker, Milos Kaliski, Possum Physics, Black Mama 1993, Mitzi Marcella, Yup, Caden Mack, Charisma, The Super One Player, Jacob Arndt, Zachary Kane, Cheat.exe, Gothic Sith, Mandelbro, Wales, Bo the Doggo, Gabriel Herrera, Hoofido, and Lemonade Warrior is participating in the hit game Among Us and is considered the encroacher. Take care, everyone.